Hello, this is Ronald with Indicator Vault, and in this video we're going to go over the natural momentum indicator. See, I have it here on the bottom. This is the main indicator. We also have the buy and sell signal, part of the indicator as well, available on Tradingview. I'm going to hide that just to not clutter up the chart at the moment. We'll bring it in for certain examples to point out the accuracy in it. But let's get into the main part of it. And as you can see here on the bottom, it's kind of a histogram, but a colored in zone area. And then it also has the line that is below it if it's red, or above it if it's blue. And that line is either going to be green in color or orange. Green is obviously indicating bullishness momentum. Orange indicating bearishness momentum. And as you can see, the green and orange shows up on both sides, right? So this blue area has several different green and orange touches. And here on the bottom, the red zone, big orange line moving down. Then as it starts to curl up, it's turning green again. So that is essentially kind of the two-part confirmation of this indicator. And, as it suggests, natural momentum is measuring momentum and volatility in the market. So let's just go over some examples. Start here. So as we can see, price is moving up, and as it's doing so, the line crosses above the zero line, indicating bullish momentum. And we can see for most of the way, we've got the green line, turns orange just for a candle or two, green, and then orange. So one way to measure this or interpret this, when you see a blue zone and a green line, that is, especially as the green line is crossing above the zero line, you can expect more upside. That's basically what it's indicating, that the momentum is on the upside, the buy side. If you potentially got in a long here and are holding it, and about right here with these red candles, it then turns blue, you can hold it. Yeah, you've got some retracement, but even this retracement with these sharp down moves never pushes price below the zero line. And so then what do we have? We still have another strong move up. So you can use that, again, hypothetically. Let's say you got in a trade here, and you want to ride it all the way up. And as it's taking this high, we can now see, let's put a vertical line to where it changes over. So right here on this bearish candle is when we get our first sign of the market cooling down, basically wanting to take a breather. It's had a strong impulsive move up. It's already taken the most recent high, so we want to get, some interpretation on, well, will it go higher without retracing? Is it going to just have another strong move up like it did here before it retraces? Well, this indicator here, as it's turning orange, is basically telling us, no, it's not. It's going to retrace now. It's cooling off. Either take, partial profits up here and hold long term if you think it's still going to continue up, which we see it does. So let's move it to here. Retraces down, But like I mentioned ago, never goes below the zero line. So it's not giving us any sort of sell signal to think that now the momentum is on the downside. It is still telling us momentum is on the upside. So as this candle here, this red candle, it actually switches over to a blue zone with a green line again, indicating, okay, this is actually more upside. This is now essentially the end of the retracement. Is going to create another higher high, which of course in hindsight we see it easily does. Now, of course, throughout this climb up, we see, it changes several times between green and orange, but our main thing is the blue zone is still telling us the momentum is on the upside. So that is one way you could be using it as far as take profits and maybe stop losses and even retracements, like I just pointed out here. Just a gauge of where the market is going, where the strength is going. It'll still measure some pullbacks, but it is great to interpret where the momentum is going. So let's get into an actual sell trade that was potentially here. And as I turn this on, you can see it here. Sell signal right as it crosses below the zero line with the red. But let's refine it some more. So right here, excuse me, one candle over. Right here is where it crosses over. So let's go down into a lower time frame. And so keep this in mind. We now have the momentum indicator telling us the momentum is on the downside. So right as this candle is closing, it is now breaking below the zero line. So let's go to a 5 minute. Find where we are. Here we go. Here's that vertical line. So this is after that candle closes. We now, on the hourly, on the higher time frame relative to the 5 minute, we now have the bearish momentum on our side. And of course, we can see a huge move here, this huge red zone. But we're not framing it out just on the 5 minute. But look here, a very clear supply zone has formed. Breaking the structure here, strong move down, clearing out not just these lows here, but now breaks below this low. So a clear supply zone is formed. Again, after the 1 hour has gone below the zero line with a red zone below it. So very soon after, we've got this supply zone form. You can watch for it. Obviously, you could get in on this touch, the first touch, with your stop above here. Clearly we can see in hindsight it never goes above it. But let's say you want it to, see how the momentum indicator, gets you an entry on the lower time frame. So we have our higher time frame bias. We are now waiting for a retracement into this zone, but this is kind of overextended down here. Another, way you could interpret this is, while there is no overbought or oversold zones, it doesn't necessarily operate that way. It can still, if you just look, eyeball it, just from all of this price action in here, right in here is by far lower than all these other valleys, these peaks below the zero line. So in a sense, this move is overextended itself. So how much more momentum can it do to push the momentum indicator downward? So it has to take a breather. And you see here some of these green lines starting to form. And this is basically giving you hints and clues. Okay, we're going to see some consolidation. This is way overextended. We're getting some green lines showing up in here saying it's cooling off from the downward push. So let's start looking for some consolidation. And we see that. That's what this mostly is. But it's playing off perfect from this 5-minute supply zone. So we can now see it's gone back above the zero line to create some bullish momentum. Doesn't last, but we're not necessarily, seeing this as some entry to the upside. We have too many confirmations that this is going to continue to sell off. But as it's going up, well, you can just look for your next entry for when it goes below the zero line again. So right here, you could potentially enter after this candle, and you have almost no drawdown, has a push down, comes back up for maybe just a couple pips of a drawdown, never even creates a new high, much less take out the high of the supply zone. So you could enter as the bearish momentum kicks in on the 5-minute, and another strong move down. So that's the natural momentum indicator. We have it on Tradingview here, as you can see. That's one way, or a couple different ways you can interpret the price action. Even here, another way overextended zone, correlating with a little bit of consolidation, but now it's taking a breather. There may not be a very clean trade in here. Not saying there couldn't be, but to me, this right in here is not really any clean price action, but this is at least telling us, okay, well, there's going to be some sort of retracement. After diving down so strongly, it's going to take a little bit of a breather and cool off to the upside for a little while. So I hope this video was helpful, and until next time, best of luck trading.